The person that you're waiting to become is on the other side of just starting. But there's not many of you that have to start your day with that kind of neck cranage. Welcome back to another video on my YouTube channel. It is day 3. In today's video we're going to talk about just starting. But as some of you might be aware, we've got to do our miracle morning first, 6 things to do before you start your day, and I've got to have a coffee. Progress report. Yesterday I felt really good. I woke up and I was like, boom, let's go, yeah. Today I've woke up feeling absolutely just lackluster. It's raining outside. I don't know, my brain just feels a bit overwhelmed. I stayed up too late last night. I work until 11:30 at night, and then I ended up staying up till 2 o'clock in the morning, chat GPT and stuff, getting inspiration from YouTube, watching a couple of videos. I just pushed it too far. Now I've woke up this morning and I'm just like, but doesn't matter, we're going to crack on, we're going to ignore how we feel, and we're going to stay true to the motivation and the discipline of this project. Hello everybody. The rain has somewhat stopped, although it's still piddling a little bit. But I really like coming outside to do these videos. I don't know why. Like, I like the idea of walking, but I've just been walking and I can see rain on my lens and on my camera and stuff. So I've decided to just perch myself under a little tree, and I'm going to start the video like this because I've got to get it done. Time's cracking on and I've got work tonight. So in today's video I wanted to talk about just starting, and I'll tell you why that has become important to me and why that's suddenly come up on the radar. It feels like a natural progression from day 1 and day 2. As you know, I'm doing 30 days, 30 videos, and it's about routine and structure. So, and I wish I started sooner. That's what I've come up with. But I think that's part of it. Like, it's something I've always told myself. Like, I say I've always told myself, maybe it hasn't clicked, maybe it's not, maybe you forget, but like, I've written just start, Otis, on my affirmations in the past. I know that I used to tell myself that when I used to go to the gym in the mornings. You know, I'd wake up and I'd go, just start, because once you get there, you're going to feel better for it. And I don't know, like, I guess I became unmotivated and didn't, you know, forgot that sentiment. But here I am on day 3 now, and I woke up this morning, I felt ropey, I didn't feel very motivated, but I just got on with what I knew I'd set out as my morning routine. And that, I think, is testament to the fact that motivation doesn't just arrive. I think it's action that creates motivation. So the fact that I got up and I started my miracle morning, even though I wasn't feeling motivated, suddenly turned into motivation. And here I am outside filming the video. So I think that's one important thing, is that the action leads to the motivation. And I think I'm learning that. I'm learning that the discipline creates the motivation as well. And as well as you know, it's just starting. I think we can overcomplicate, especially when it comes to like my personal story with YouTube, social media, portrait videos, landscape videos. What's going to be my strategy? What am I going to talk about? How's it going to look? What are people going to think? What's my title? What's my thumbnail? You know, I tried to plan all of it almost like in a perfectionist kind of way. And I think perfection is just like procrastination dressed up in a suit. And you know, I was overcomplicating things where I was becoming overwhelmed and I wasn't just starting. because I felt like I had to have X, Y, and Z sorted out first. I had to be motivated and have this routine and have this structure squared away before I started, rather than just thinking, just start. And that's why it ties in loosely with that old analogy. I think a friend of mine, Life Uncharted, did it, but there's several of them. You only need to worry about the first step, not the staircase. You only need to worry about one step at a time as you're going up the mountain, not the whole damn mountain. And there's a brilliant picture with a guy that's next to a ladder that's got loads of small little tiny baby, I don't know what they're called, slats or steps of the ladder, and each one is kind of achievable because you can see that one after another. And then there's another guy that's sat at the bottom of his ladder, not making any progress because each slat is miles apart. You're trying to bite off more than you can chew. And that, I think, I was guilty of. I was trying to think too many steps ahead rather than dialing it back and thinking, right, bite-sized chunks. Start small, start somewhere, and you will become a disciplined and motivated person by starting. You don't just become a motivated and disciplined person. It is the action of starting. And now I'm sat here on day 3 and I'm starting to think about things in a totally different way to how I was prior to day 1. I couldn't have planned for how I was going to feel today. I couldn't have planned for how things were going to go in my brain, what mindset shifts I was going to go through. So there's no point trying to prepare and plan for 14 days ahead or 14 days worth of content. Okay, some people, they carve out a certain sort of schematic to their videos and they're able to do that and they're able to think about where they're going to be and what they're going to do. Yes, okay, that's fine. But if you're talking about mindset stuff, if you haven't started yet, certainly you got to just start in order to find it. That's how it's been for me anyway, in terms of motivation, discipline, routine, structure. And I think also the thing with this is that we can make up a myriad of excuses. Okay, all my stuff is skewed towards creating content. That's kind of what I'm doing at the moment. It's what a lot of my, when I discuss these kind of points like just start, it's starting to create content. It's not starting a jiu-jitsu class or painting or drawing or whatever. It's very much directed at that. And okay, I've got a camera, but I can imagine that a lot of people might be like, oh, I'll wait until I get a camera, or I'll wait until I've got enough money, or I'll wait until these particular set of circumstances happen until I start. And I think that's the beauty of when I say just start, it's you've got to allow yourself to be embarrassed. You've got to allow yourself to look a fool or be bad at something. So for example, with me, before I started these videos, I might have found myself thinking, oh, I need to know how to properly articulate myself. What are my points going to be? How am I going to say them? How is it going to be coherent enough? Is it going to be succinct? You've got to allow yourself to grow into whatever it is that you're doing. And that was one of the excuses that I had running in my head, is that I wasn't quite in a good enough mental state of mind to articulate myself in well enough a way that I stopped myself from starting, rather than allowing myself to naturally progress and grow as I learn how to articulate myself by starting. And now I'm finding my brain to be ticking in a whole different way to 3 days ago, 4 days ago. It's natural progression. And that's the thing, you're never going to start unless you take bite-sized chunks. And that's something that I'm starting to learn as well. The amount of pennies that are dropping since starting is crazy, but that's the beauty of it. That's why I think it's such a powerful thing for me to kind of recognize. And I've recognized it now. I've started, hopefully, fingers crossed, long may it continue and I don't need to just start again. But there'll be other projects, there'll be other things that I'm thinking. I'm already thinking about short form content. I'm already thinking how am I going to do it? Is it going to be interesting? What do I need to narrate over the top? Do I need to go out more and see more things so that it's sort of more glamorized for Instagram? Nah, I just got to start. Got to not overcomplicate things and just get the heck on with it. So I think that's a good enough summary of just starting. I think a nice little quote to wrap it all up is that the person that you're waiting to become is on the other side of just starting. And it certainly feels like that for me. And again, that might be skewed towards my particular circumstance. There might be people out there that just want to start exercising and they feel like they don't want to go to the gym because they'll look like a noob or they don't know what the machines do or whatever. Just go. Like, I promise you, it won't be as bad as you think it is. It won't even be bad. Like, gyms are great communities. Or just start off in your bloody living room or whatever. You know, buy a yoga mat. That's another thing as well, like, just to quickly say, is that I remember I used to motivate myself to go to the gym. And what I used to do is I used to buy like my protein shakes and stuff. And I'd make sure I had one in the morning. And if I had a protein shake in the morning, or I started my day off with something that wasn't unhealthy, like that was geared towards me going to the gym in the evening after work, I found that I was able to turn down the cakes in the office and the chocolate bars and the crisps and things because I'd invested money into what my goal was, which is going to the gym in the evening. You know, by having a protein shake, I've used some of that powder, I've used some of that 40 odd quid that I spent on that powder, and if I go eating chocolate bars or not going to the gym, what a colossal waste of money that is. So sometimes investing a little bit of your money into something that you're trying to create as a routine can be worthwhile. You know, I bought myself a nice chair and that outside awning, and now I found myself to have a lot more room to be able to do my morning routine, and that's really making me feel good. Like, I feel ace sitting there in the morning. I've got the room, I've got my yoga mat out, like, it's great. And if I didn't have that, you know, I don't want to waste it. I don't want to waste that tent and that awning and that space that I've got, and I'm not now. So it's been a worthwhile investment by taking action. But anyway, that's going to wrap up today's video. I hope you've enjoyed. If you've got any other examples, because as I say, all this stuff is very geared towards content creation for me. But if anybody's got any examples of things that they come up with all of these excuses to not do and then they just started, I'd love to hear them in the comments. And if you're new here, please drop a like and a subscribe. If you're old here, please just drop a like. And I shall see you tomorrow for day 4. I don't actually know what I'm going to talk about yet. I think I might touch on, no, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to touch on. I'm going to have a think about it today. I'm going to try and get this video up sooner than I did last night. But thanks for sticking around. Thanks for watching if you've got this far. And I'll see you all in the AM. All right, peace out.